Hey artists, Miss Kit, and I'm back for your fourth assignment. In your last assignment, you were in the kitchen with Miss London mixing up some Play-Doh. If you didn't get a chance to make your own DIY Play-Doh, you can always use Play-Doh that you have, or air dry clay, or modeling clay. You just need something to sculpt with, to make your sculpture that is 3D, that you can measure the height, width, and depth, and it's inspired by Adam, Frezza, and Terry Chow. Sorry, I love actions. I got a little carried away. Let's take a look at some different hand building techniques you can use in your sculpture of your crazy, creative, playful plant. Let's take a look.
All right, artists, we will be following this clay skills worksheet. I know some of you are working with Play-Doh or modeling clay or clay, but this sheet can be used for any of those sculpting materials. The focus is trying to get our hands ready and practiced by trying out these 5 different hand building skills so you can be ready to start making your playful plant sculpture. Number 1 is to make an even coil. Coil is like a long tube snake. Number 2 is to make 4 different sized spheres: small, medium, and large, and tiny. Making a sphere is making like a tiny little ball. Making a cone, number 3, is making a triangle-like tip to the top. This is great for making spikes and different kind of thorns onto your plant. Number 4 is making a half sphere. It's a half of a ball. So it's making the ball and then cutting it half. And then lastly, you will be practicing scoring, which is a technique we don't use for Play-Doh, but more with clay, and it is good to practice when we're adding and learning how to use our hands to build in a sculpting material.
Scoring is really important when you're using clay to sculpt and make things with. Play-Doh, you don't need to do it because with Play-Doh, we make things and then we put it back and it doesn't dry. But with clay, you want things to dry and harden. So when you're joining 2 things together in clay, if the surfaces are smooth, they'll dry and just pull apart and break apart. But if you rough up the surfaces before you join 2 pieces together, that is going to help make your pieces stick and stay. So we call this scoring. We use something to rough up and scratch the 2 surfaces that you're joining and are touching together. Take a fork or a safe kind of butter knife or even a toothpick, anything that's going to rough up the surface to not make it smooth anymore. You need to do it with each surface that you plan to attach and have touch. And like Velcro, the rough pieces of the clay will stick and grab a hold of each other. That way, when it dries, it doesn't pull apart. This is called scoring.
Now it's your turn, artists. Using the Clay Skills worksheet, do each of the 5 tasks, and when you're done, challenge yourself. See if you can make a thicker coil, or a teeny tiny thin coil, or 10 different sizes of spheres. Push yourself so you can practice these different hand building techniques to get your hands ready for more sculpture.